It's 6:09 in the morning, mountain time, heading to work. Today's Friday, July 18th. So it's basically the first week in Canada after the vacation. And I'm implementing some changes based on what I saw in UK. So first off, I signed up for a gym membership because if John at 74 can do it, I can do it. But I pass this gym on the way to and from work twice a day, but never been inside. And actually once I picked up a passenger there when I was doing Uber. Like the two big names I knew, you know, because I see them all the time. One is World's Gym and the other one is Gold's Gym. And Gold's Gym is the one that's, you know, between me and my job, so it does not require pretty much any driving for me, you know. Like when I go back, I can stop, do some training, or in the morning, because they open 24/7. But the funny thing is that I sign up online, they charge me the fees, and then okay, click this link to become a member. I became a member, but no one's calling, no other emails like what's the next step, you know, how do I'm pretty sure I need the pass card, right? How do I get inside? I know all these facilities are locked. So I tried calling them yesterday. For collections, press 1. For sales, press 2. For basically they give you like 4 you know, extensions. I tried all of them and nobody was answering. Got a voicemail finally. Like the phone wasn't even, you know, when you click the extension number, let's say 1, the phone goes silent. There's no tone, nothing. There's no music, like weird. And then I tried all of these 4 extensions they give you, and I think number 4 I finally got to voicemail. Super weird. So I left them a voicemail, and then I found on their website it says locations. Okay, I found this location, Calgary, Country Hills Boulevard, and there's an email there, email address. Okay, I send them an email. So what's the next step, you know? And I read the rules. Did not see this in UK when John took me to his gym. So they require you cannot wear shoes that you wore outside. Actually, I think I saw a guy when he was walking in. He was carrying just, you know, some sneakers or trainers, as they say in UK. But gonna see this through. So today after work I'm gonna stop there and give him hell. And then I guess I need to buy new shoes. I don't know. Maybe I can just clean up these ones because I just recently bought them and keep them for the gym use only. And another thing, yesterday I came to work in the Jeep because my Durango is now on rent until Wednesday. Some young lady from Toronto took it, and I loaded my X-Fixie bike because I got that package with a new crankset. By the way, did UPS again screwed up. I did because I knew I'll be at work, and so I did a redirect. They charged me, I think, $2, and I said deliver to a nearby UPS store. Yeah, okay. And then I'm at work, and I'm just checking my email, and it says your package has been delivered. All right. So after work I go to the UPS store. The guy cannot find the package. and I give him the tracking number. He looks on his computer and he says, I don't see my signature. It says left at the front entrance. He says if it's delivered here, it always has my name, because he's like the only guy there. And so he says probably they delivered it to your home. Like, what? So why did I pay $2 for the redirect? So I drive home, and sure enough, there's a package at my front door. Like, if you remember a few months ago when I bought that rifle, right? The guy faked my signature and delivered the package and left the rifle leaned against my door in a residential building with me not present and with me not signing. But it was in a box, of course. It's, you know, and the box was unmarked, but still. So UPS, you better get your act together. And so now, yeah, I pay for a redirect and they still deliver to my home. Well, at least they didn't send it back. You know, my big concern was because I was tracking that package, and they were planning to deliver on the 7th of July, and I left Canada on the 5th, you know, and I figured out, so they only keep it for 5 days, you know, and so I didn't want them to send it back, and so I did the redirect, and also I changed the date for delivery. At least that worked, you know. I said deliver on 15th. At least they did that. So they didn't send the package back. They delivered it on the proper date. And so I'm gonna pick up the bike today after work. And they said they're gonna be rain in the afternoon, but we'll see. Sometimes they're wrong, but yesterday it was raining all day here. But I'm gonna pick it up, and that Bike and Brew, they're close to downtown, so if it's not raining, I'm gonna take the bike for a test drive. So basically, yeah, they're gonna install the new crankset, and that one has 48 teeth instead of 46 I have now. So the bike will be faster but more difficult to pedal on hills, so they'll have to extend the chain by a few links because of the bigger chain ring. And also I asked them to flip the rear wheel. That's it, no more fixed gear, because there's a freewheel cog on the left side there, so they're gonna turn the wheel, and this way the fixed gear will be on the left, not connected to the chain, and on the chain will be the freewheeling cog, which has 16 teeth. So the gear ratio will be 48 to 16, so exactly 3, which means that one rotation of the pedals will give me 3 rotations of the rear wheel. And my yellow bike, it's 2.91, I think, the gear ratio, because I have 44.15. Yeah, I'm just going here because it's too early to go to work, and I already have coffee. So this is Shell, where yesterday I got 93, and that's another change. You know, that trip to UK kind of like put things into perspective. So despite their prices, you know, whereas their gas or petrol and diesel are twice as expensive as here, John insisted on buying premium fuel. You know, so yeah, he was buying premium gas or petrol and premium diesel. And before, I remember I noticed the difference. I don't think I ever tried super high octane in the Jeep. I'm in the Jeep now, right? But I like 91. But yesterday, just to try it out, I got this particular Shell has 93. And by the way, our octane system is different from UK. So 93 here, it's the same as 99 in UK. So that's one of the, like, the higher I can get is 94 here. And 99 in UK, they say it's somewhere between our 93 and 94. And so Shell here only has 93. But if I go to Petro-Canada, they have 94. And it's supposed to have less ethanol. But I definitely see a difference, you know. Like 93 compared to 87, the basic one. Basically, you don't have to push the throttle as hard, so the car picks up speed much faster. You know, like seriously, I feel more power. And that's what the manual says. Premium gas will provide improved performance. And of course, that premium gas is cleaner, so it keeps the engine clean. So yeah, so I'm gonna do this. But on the Durango, you know, when people return it from rent, they fill it up. And I did mention in the notes, you know, when they book the car, I, like, you know, kind of like I can leave some messages. I ask people to avoid potholes in downtown Calgary, which it's famous for, and these recessed manhole covers, you know, stuff like that. And if you return the car too dirty, we will charge you. We can charge you $150, you know, for extra cleaning. And so most people are okay, right? The previous guy returned it in a pretty good. I do see, you know, more and more little kind of like damage to the paint, because I guess they, you know, in the front where there's some rocks fly in, because a lot of people, of course, they go to mountains, you know, then they probably go on some dirt roads. I cannot track them anymore, right? I used to have my air tag, but then the rental company says no, it's not allowed anymore, so I had to take it out. But I remember once I was following the guy. It was interesting to see. So one day he's in Calgary, the next day he's in Banff, the next day he's in some casino over there, but mostly in the mountains, you know. But yeah, well, they don't want it, I took it out. So join the gym, getting premium fuel, definitely cutting on drinking. The less booze the better, more exercise. And yeah, this Sunday, if the weather's good, but again, I saw that they said it might rain. Definitely going for a bike ride in this new Fixie. Would be interesting to compare, you know, what it was before fixed gear. I love that bike, you know, with those handlebars. It feels like a race bike. It's so light, and now it's gonna be even faster. So I'll probably just go downtown and right near the Bow River. So other changes at work. So we had, while I was away, we had 2 drivers, right? And so I asked my dispatcher, said, so you guys had 2 drivers, right? It was okay, or was it too busy because you didn't have me? And they said, well, actually we had only 1 driver. I said, what? They said, yeah, the other guy also took a 1 week of vacation, and then he was sick. Like, I don't know what's, like, that guy is like twice my age, younger, but every so often he gets sick. He has some injury to his leg or something, I don't know. Or they said his wife got into an accident, broke her arm. So, but anyway, so only 1 guy was working, and they said he was working because, you know, when I was here, right, we alternate Saturdays. He works one Saturday, I work the other Saturday, right? So we work 6 days a week. So this poor guy had to work 3 Saturdays in a row. And so I asked him, okay, so this coming Saturday, tomorrow, like, who's working? And they said, well, the schedule is for you to be off, the proper schedule, right? But this guy if he works again, it'll be like 4 Saturdays in a row for him, and that's just nuts, you know. I know it's difficult, you know. So I said, okay, I'll work tomorrow instead of him. And then they said, well, the next Saturday, we're back to the schedule, so it's my turn to work Saturday. So I'll be working 2 Saturdays in a row. But at least this will give this guy a little bit of, you know, respite. And I need the money because this pay, I got paid on 15th. Actually, the pay was quite good. But this next pay, at the end of the month, they're gonna pay me only for 1 week because I was off 14 days, right? And so this Saturday is included in the next pay. And so I said, yeah, sign me up, I'll work. So never say no to the boss, you know. And so yeah, I thought I'd be doing Uber tomorrow, but I'll be working. And speaking about Uber, so yesterday when I took the bike to Bike and Brew, and they're close to downtown, I raised my seats because I had to put them down in order for the bike to fit in, and clean up the car, and I started Uber. And I ordered coffee inside the shop, the store, and I waited till they give me the coffee before I started the Uber, because I know it can be sometimes busy. And so then I got my coffee, started Uber. Within 1 minute, I got a passenger. It says 100 meters away. What? So I just went around the block because there was a one-way street where he was standing, so I had to go around. And there's a guy there. Picked up the guy. I think took him like 7 clicks towards downtown. Then there was another guy. So did maybe 3 runs. And then I ended in downtown, and then everything slowed down. I tried Lyft, nothing. I said Uber, you know, set the filter on Uber, head home, and basically find me rides that take me home, and nothing. So I just drove back empty, 25 kilometers. But those 3 rides, I think I made like $25, you know. Oh, and I got this 93 gas. But yeah, the car, the Jeep, feels really good, you know. So I'll be getting this good gas from now on. Yeah, it's expensive, but I can see actually, you know, the range to empty is better. And also, yeah, it's time to do a oil change on this, because I try to do it every 6 months, and John was saying he sticks to 5,000 miles, which is 8,000 kilometers. But I don't drive that much, so I usually go by the months, you know. I try to change it in after, basically, yeah, last time I changed it was January, I believe. So now it's July. You see, 6 months. That's, even though I think, yeah, for this one they recommend twice a year, and for Durango they recommend once a year, which is nuts. And also I'm gonna get rid of the K&N filter on this one, because on the Durango it just clips, and the filter is like the size of my hand for some reason, 5.7 V8. But on this one the filter is, I don't know, 2 feet long, and there's 7 or 8 screws that hold the cover where the air filter sits, and they're so tight, like until the last thread is out you cannot use your fingers. I don't know what's wrong with them. Why they require such a tight seal? Maybe there's a lot of pressure because it's a turbo engine. But that one is also hard to clean because it's so big, you know. So tomorrow when I do this one up, this is where I'm gonna do the oil change. These guys are good, and it's a bit cheaper than at the dealership. So tomorrow I'm gonna ask them, just give me a regular filter. I don't want to clean it anymore. and I don't want to deal with those pesky screws. And these guys, of course, they all have power tools, so for them it's much easier. So back to the factory filter. But on Durango, I'm gonna keep that K&N because I do believe it provides a bit more power, even though many people don't trust them. But I use them for a long time, so I know it works. You know, small filter, especially when you don't have to use tools to open the cover, it's real easy. But this one is just too huge and the screws are killing me. So yeah, today, that's the plan today. So after work, Friday, I'm gonna stop here. Takes like half an hour, right? Do the oil change, then drive down to Bike and Brew, pick up my bike, go for a ride. If the weather's good, we might do a video, like a quick test ride video, and then I'm working tomorrow. So back to the grind. Well, I'm sitting outside Gold's gym, and inside it's smaller than I thought. You know, I thought it would be 2 stories. It's just one big floor. So anyway, yeah, because I wasn't sure what the next step is right after I signed the agreement online and paid, and then they sent me an email, an answer to my question. They said download the app. There's like a Gold's Gym Calgary app, and you just fill out your agreement. You put your agreement number, you know, your weight, your height, stuff like that. And it's funny, here the most popular height is in centimeters, but weight is in pounds, right? So no stones and pounds, just pounds. Let's say, I know last time I checked I was 182 pounds. So nobody uses stones. But height, many people choose centimeters, metric, right? But anyway, did oil change. It was a disaster. You know, last time I was at that quick lube place, there was a total different owner, a very nice guy who actually remember I think what, a year and a half ago or something, when I got winter tires and they were not mounted and I bought extra rims. I went there, no lineup, they just did everything, and those were like there was like 5 or 6 guys plus the manager. So now I show up, there's a total different guy. There's only 3 people there, and I had to wait. I waited half an hour because there was a guy in front of me and there was a guy in the bay, and then the guy's like a hippie, you know, lots of hair, dirty nails, you know, some young kid. And he shows me my oil and he says, your oil is pretty low, so looks like your engine has been burning oil, so we recommend flushing the engine. I said, request denied. Next, he was checking something else. I said, replace my engine filter, please. They checked the stock, of course they don't have it. I said, all right, I'll do it myself. I didn't tell him, but next time I'm going to the dealer. So this was, the oil, and he topped up coolant, and he topped up windshield wash, and they checked everything underneath, you know, like differential oil was okay. They couldn't check the transmission oil. They say no access. I guess they don't have the proper tools or something. And so yeah, and it was $150 after tax. So I don't think it's gonna be, probably at the dealer it would be maybe $200, you know. So yeah, I wrote the date with my little pencil because they give you this sticker, you know, the sticker says next oil change, and it's always confusing because they think, like, the sticker says next oil change 10/16/25. Like now it's July 18th, they want me to change oil in October, which makes no sense at all. And so since I do it every 6 months, I don't care about mileage, I don't drive that much, and so I just wrote down, I don't know if you can see, 7/18/25. I have this red pencil so I can clean it up. July 18th 25 is the date of the oil change. And so now I'll just remember So next time I'm changing oil 7+6 is January, right? Anyway, so talk to these guys. They said, yeah, you can come anytime, 24/7. So but it's very busy, of course, during this time of the day. So I think tomorrow I'll try, but you're supposed to bring clean shoes with yourself, with you. So I might just, you know, clean up my sneakers and wear other boots. I have these hiking boots, and try to maybe do it in the morning tomorrow, like early morning, because I'm working tomorrow, but it's not too busy. By the way, we have an interesting project coming up at work. The guy showed me, my dispatch showed me a picture. We're gonna do a recovery. Basically, one of our walk behind tracked mini loaders got stuck in the gravel somewhere there, and the drive is broken. So the engine works, the hydraulics work. You can, you know, lower and raise the arms with the bucket, but the machine does not drive. And so they said, take a skid steer, and they attached forks to it, and they said that skid steer should be able to lift this out of the mud and gravel and basically bring it back. So I'm going there in a Freightliner tomorrow with the skid steer, and I'm coming back hopefully with the skid steer and the mini loader. So it's gonna be interesting. We'll try maybe to record that. So anyway, so I created the barcode. They told me which number I have to put in. It was a bit confusing. Member number, turns out it's my agreement number. So I put that one in right away. It created the barcode, and the door is always open. You don't have to I thought you would have to, you know, use the card to get in. They say no, there's somebody always there. You open the door, you get in, and then there's a little scanner on the counter, and you just scan it, and you scan your barcode on your phone. That's it. I thought they give me some card, like the gym John took me to in England. He had a card, and they had to issue me like a temporary card so I can also swipe it. And yeah, and there was like a gate and tourniquet, whatever it's called, right? And there was a swiping machine. Here they just use a scanner, so it's totally different. Anyway, so now it's the last part I have to do today, is to go and recover my bike. They sent me a message. They said bike is ready, so now I should have new crankset with more teeth. So it's 48 over in the front, 16 in the back, and they should flip the wheel, so it should be a free wheel from now on. And I don't know, they said it's gonna rain, but it looks okay. You see, like a bit cloudy sky, but maybe I'll go for a quick ride. We'll see. Yeah, the only cool thing about that oil change experience was they gave me free water. So that bottle of water cost me $150. And of course, see how many cars are here? Like, that's the entrance over there, but it's hard to find anything closer. Yeah, that one is for cripples. Well, I'm joking, for sick people. I see over here everything is empty. But yeah, this is, oh, probably this is empty. So something used to be here. But yeah, it's for me it's good because I can just stop by here on the way to work. You know, this is halfway between my job and my home. And I don't need anything fancy, honestly. Yeah, I'm talking about the gym. I'm a big fan of free weights. You know, just want to find some, you know, dumbbells, kettlebells, stuff like that. It's just that I really like the atmosphere. You know, when John took me to his gym, it was really, you know, much more interesting to exercise when there's people around, you know, as opposed to by yourself. Because then, so this way, when there's people around you and everybody's puffing, and you know, and maybe there'll be some guys there that can inspire me with some big muscles, you know. So it's easier to show up, I think. That's why people pay money, right? And it was not too crazy. I think I'll be paying I think like $30 every 2 weeks, but when you sign up, they charge you, I think it was $45 registration fee. Basically, it's a scam. You know, it's like imagine you go to a grocery store to buy bread, and they would say, well, in order for you to buy bread, you have to register and you have to pay us $50. So these registration fees, they make no sense. It's just another way for them to make money. But I remember once in my life, I think once I was a member of the gym, actually in Canada, and I remember that these guys are super nasty when you try to, you know, cancel your agreement. Basically, the agreement is non-cancelable. You know, you have to pay them no matter what. And that's why I went for the cheapest one. These guys on their website, they show gold membership, then platinum and diamond. And gold was the cheapest one, and of course the description of the features was like this long, whereas the diamond description was like this long. So many features, but it just, I looked at them, I don't need that stuff. It's mostly to do with personal training, you know, some coaches, some diet recommendations. You know, I just need gym where there's people around and free weights. I don't need any fancy machines. Well, occasionally, you know, I would use a machine. I remember John used mostly machines, and he didn't do any, I don't think he did. Oh, did he do? Yeah, he did some squats with one kettlebell because his knee is bad, right? But I love squats because, you know, I ride a bike, so I need strong legs, and I need it for my work as well, like strong back and legs to carry stuff like scaffolding, you know. So yeah, this is great. So I can do it either on the way back from work, going home, or early in the morning on the way to work. And in winter, definitely Saturday I'll be doing it in the morning, because in winter we start at 8 as opposed to, you know, now it's all like tomorrow I'll have to be there at 6:45. That's official start of my day, 6:45. So basically, usually we enter at like 6:40, and then we go to the computer, we clock in. Basically, before, you have to clock in before 6:45, and then the bosses are happy, and then you can spend, you know, 5-10 minutes in the locker room changing. Like when I started, you know, I used to just show up for work in work clothes. I didn't want to use the locker room, but then, you know, in winter your boots become very dirty, and so I started taking them off. And at first I was just leaving the boots, and then I said, okay, so, you know, and I wear these super expensive track pants from Walmart. I think I paid $15, you know, super nice quality. So I got 2 of these. So I'm rich, I can afford two pairs of pants. So anyway, so I wear these under the work pants, you know, so I drive like this to work, and then I put the pants on, and then when I'm done, I'm just leaving the work pants in my locker. And so far nobody tried to steal them. I'm surprised, because those are like, if these are $15, those are, I think they were like $60 or $75, because they have so many pockets, and also you can change them into shorts. There's a zipper, you know. And actually, I tried to argue with the management, you know, asking them if we could wear shorts in the summer, and they said no. You need safety boots and long pants, but you can wear a t-shirt under a high-vis vest. So yeah, now I'm on my way to Bike and Brew, pick up my bike. So it's gonna be totally different, I guarantee it. Like with a freewheel, So maybe I'll just go for a ride around the block when I get home. I wanted to do Uber today, but I only made 25 bucks yesterday, so that's all my Uber income for the week. And today I have lots of expenses, right? So 150 bucks for oil change. And of course some people would say it's a rip-off because you can buy oil and you can do it yourself. But actually it's good that, you know, these guys check everything, right? They have a pit. So they check the differential oil. They look underneath, you know, they give you some recommendations. Yeah, so their recommendation that I ignored was to flush the engine, because they said looks like your engine has been burning oil, so we don't recommend mixing oil like used. You'll have some old oil in there. But yeah, so now from now on I'm going to the dealer. Screw this. Because the dealer, actually, this new dealer that opened on Country Hills, they surprised me because they were pretty good and they were proactive. Last time I was there, the guy says, I'd recommend, you know, he says, I checked your cabin filter. It's a bit dirty, so you might want to change it. And also he says brakes. He mentioned something about brakes. And I declined, and I said, okay, we'll do it. Look at this guy. We'll do it next time. And so they were offering, you know, they all want to make extra money, right? But that's also in my interest because they telling me if there's anything wrong with the car. And so yeah, next in January 26th, I'm gonna book an appointment with Chrysler. And you know, also it works very well there. I don't have to waste time. Like you see here, I spent 30 minutes sitting outside and then 30 minutes sitting inside while they were doing stuff, because they don't allow you to get out of the car. Whereas with the Chrysler, the way it works, it's again, Chrysler is is between my home and my job. You know, like I used to drive 20 miles almost, like probably no, maybe 25 kilometers, so 15 miles to the east side Dodge. But now this one opened, and so I do all my stuff in here. And so east side Dodge keeps sending me messages, hey, we're missing you. It's been a while since your Jeep was at our dealership for service. I said, whatever, you know, like, why would I drive 25 kilometers when this one is like 5 kilometers away from me, you know, 5 minutes. So yeah, so whatever they recommend in January, I'm gonna do it, because I think by now it's my mileage is 45964, which is kilometers 45,964 kilometers. This is the highest mileage ever I had on my personal vehicle. The previous record was held by Dodge Charger Daytona 5.7. When I sold it, it had 24,000 kilometers. And before that, my Ford Mustang was, I think I had like 15 or 17,000 kilometers, because I went to Florida a couple of times. But Charger was, I love that car. I should have kept it, because I did that crazy road trip right across US when I sold the truck, and I went from Buffalo, New York all the way to Kalispell, Montana, and then north into Alberta. But this one, so I'm gonna keep forever because I'm still upside down. Let's say if I decide, well, like, I hate when these people do this, you know, like, what am I, like the last freaking idiot? Everybody cuts in front of me because, you know, I like keeping the distance. All right, at least he's moving that way. See, I like keeping the distance because I don't want to hit my brakes like a crazy mother, you know. And so everybody likes jumping in. And also another change in my lifestyle is that from now on I'm gonna use premium gas, or petrol as they say in England, because I see already, like, look at this guy. I see already that the mileage is better. Like the range to empty is more than when you use 87 gas. Okay, what is this? I'm you. Oh, I forgot to put in the destination into my Google Maps, because I've been there what 3-4 times now. I know where it is. Okay, let's see if we can pass somebody, you know. Wow, I did it. I passed one guy. And city of Calgary on TV a couple of months ago, they said that all this will be done by the end of the summer 25. Like, I don't see anything inside that says that it's going to be done, because they were working on widening the existing road, but now they're doing something over there, they're doing something over there. The last thing they did, they built this concrete wall that's new in the middle, but the lane is almost ready where those trucks are parked, but it still has like pits, like they're different levels. You know, that one is lower, I think, than this. Okay, what's going on here? We're driving 50 kilometers an hour. Ah, there's a container truck and a long lineup of cars. So yeah, so I spent 150 bucks on the oil change and a bottle of water. And now, of course, I'll have to pay for the bike. They gave me a quick quote. I think it's probably going to be like 100 bucks. But bike, I don't want to touch it, you know, because it's a high-tech bike, and plus, when you change the chain ring, you have to add a couple of links to the chain, right? And I'm not that mechanically inclined. Yeah, so pick up the bike, go home, and I need to sight my do like a Bose sighting of my Mossberg rifle, because maybe this Sunday I'll go to the shooting club, just shoot some paper targets, you know, to make sure that it's the red dot is on the money. I see this is pretty close. So Memorial Drive, so I'm not that far from downtown. Yeah, with premium gas picks up speed much faster. This is our zoo, St. George's Drive, and that's our LRT. Usually they have 3 cars or carriages, and they're always packed with people. And I think they were trying to experiment. They were saying that they're going to try only 2 cars, and then I think some routes they wanted to try 4. Alright, now all these guys are coming in. Come on, Mazda, you can do it. And that's my exit. So downtown is that way. So I'm glad that this bike and brew is a little bit away. And this bridge is actually, you can cross on a bike, and you get to the river, and you can do like a bike path. You know, you can ride on a bike pathway. Oh, Anytime Fitness. Actually, there's one near my home. called Anytime Fitness, but it's super small, and whenever I go there, like that's where lots of restaurants are, you know, restaurants and liquor stores. I go there, I always see like 1,000 people inside, and it's not that big. And then I found a website on like I found a Google Maps, you know, listing, and I read the reviews. It's on that street over there, but there's no crossing. Like the store is on this side, and so you just need to go, like, this is one-way street, and we just go around like a block. There's a nice park over here. Yeah, go here, and there's a one loading zone area over there where it says 20 minutes max. So hopefully, actually you can cross. Oh yeah, there's no divider in the middle. Ah, so I could have come from that side. See, that's kind of like my bike. No, my handlebars are different. My handlebars are like the modern style where they face up. All right, yeah, I see loading zone. Oh, okay, there's I think I can squeeze in here. If this guy will not kill me. I see loading zone 20 minutes. There's no parking, but who cares? Like some temporary sign. No parking. All right, let's go grab my bike, and maybe I'll peace officer. Hate these guys. Is he turning around to give me a ticket? What for? Do you know why I stopped you? Well, if you don't know why you stopped me, I'm not gonna help you. All right, and here's the bike. So what they did is they changed the, this is new. Wow, looks very fancy. This is new, and these are old old pedals. That's what I had before. See, now I don't know, looks a bit more fancy. They say that's like lightweight material, and also that one is 48 teeth compared to 46. Oh yeah, and they changed this this part in here. Like the one in there is new. It's also slightly different. I asked him to give me this in case I want to go back to the, you know, for speed, for slower speed, because I'll try it with, you know, 3 rotations. And I said, did you guys have to modify the chain? They said no, there was enough room. Yeah, I see it says 40. Yeah, 48 teeth. Wait, I'm pretty sure this one was, well, I'll have to count them. Oh, wait, I think over here, yeah, I see at the top, like it's hard to see, but it's stamped. It says 46. 46. So anyway, oh, and the best part is they changed this. This was fixed gear. This is, you see, now it goes back. So now when the bike, when you roll the bike, the pedals don't move. That's the huge difference. So things are gonna be much easier now. And I love this seat. That's the seat I got from what is it, Mountaineering Equipment, where they gave me a parking ticket, $40. I think the seat was like 50 or something. So I love this bike. Now it's gonna be even faster. You know, guys, I know that little device, that's called a tamper. I'll just show you how it fits in here. But yeah, those parts are dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Yeah, that's the thing I use to clean the seats. All right, let's get it in. And that's how it has to be in order to fit. Well, nothing is touching anywhere. The brakes are off the seats. It just sits on the wheel and the saddle. And we are good. Yeah, today I finished at 3:30.
Starting route to home. Head east on 1st Avenue Northeast.
But again, I remember this. How to get out of here. Okay, do we have room in the back there? Yeah. And that was the problem before, you know, like before, that was the only problem with this Jeep was this. So basically, when you put it in reverse and then start driving, the picture freezes and then the screen would go black. Or another time you would just start the car and the thing is black. So you're lucky if you
600 meters, turn right onto 12th Street Northeast.
yeah, you're lucky if your climate settings were okay. But imagine if it was too cold and you set everything for, like, you know, super hot, and you set everything for super hot temperature, and then you start the car and your screen is black, so which means that nothing, you cannot change anything. It works, you know, like the climate control works, but you cannot change it. And of course there's no music, there's no satellite radio. It was super annoying. And I went once to a dealer and all they did was reinstall.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
Reinstall the software, and the display worked maybe for a couple of weeks. It worked fine, but then the problem returned, and then finally they did a recall, which was also
At the stop sign, turn right onto 12th Street Northeast.
yeah, I don't think it was any hardware upgrades. I think it was again just software, but probably on a more deeper level. And after that I never had any issues.
Light, turn right.
Oh, and one more thing they had to do under warranty. I had the check engine light, and they found that the battery needed replacement. And so now whenever I drive, I try to remember to cancel the auto, you know, when your engine shuts down at the light. It's super annoying, and I'm pretty sure that's what wears out the battery.
At the light, turn right onto St. George Georges Drive Northeast.
And I was
Then
here
take
actually.
the first left onto Memorial Drive.
Yeah,
Northeast.
there's a bike pathway somewhere here. Because I remember I rode my bike from home to Bike and Brew. And somewhere around, oh, over there, that bike pathway, it goes around this big hill. And you can get all the way to my place. Yeah, I did a video about this. Okay, so now we just have to line up in this left lane and catch the Memorial Drive and jump back on Deerfoot Highway 2 North. Alright, so this guy is done. We'll go here.
Go past this light. Then at the next one, turn left.
And yeah, now we're crossing over the Memorial Drive, which is underneath.
At the light, turn left onto Memorial Drive Northeast.
Yeah, and we're going east. West is that way towards downtown. Oh shoot. It's all the parts from probably some screws from that box because the top is open. Fell off. Now when I open the trunk, I'll probably have all these parts all over the place there. And they were covered in oil. That's not good.
Stay in the second lane from right.
Yeah, surprisingly, now Apple Maps is correct. Because quite often, it'll say stay in the middle lane. And there's only 2 lanes. And the third lane was like a temporary, you know, exit lane. But now, yeah, see, that stuff is sliding all over the place there. But maybe it slid back into the box. What do you guys think? Like here, there's always accidents. Oh, okay, another LRT. It's a newer version. And each car has 3 pairs of tandem wheels. So each car has 6 axles, which to me looks like an overkill. Because, you know, regular railway or railroad cars, they only have 2 axles in the front, 2 axles in the back, right? And they carry much heavier loads. Here they just have people. Maybe it's because we're getting fat, you know? A lot of people are overweight. No, you're not getting in front of me, buddy. Yeah, that's why accidents here happen, because these people don't want to wait in line. And to go north on Highway 2, you must be in this lane. This is the only lane, which, again, another stupid engineering decision by whoever designs traffic solutions in the city is a moron. And so these guys jump in, we have to brake, and of course the further you are,
go past this light, then use the right lane to take a slight right turn to merge onto Highway 2 North.
yeah, the further you are, the stronger you have to brake. And so sooner or later somebody in the very back hits another guy because they don't have time to react because of these people jumping in. Sometimes they even jump in from here because, again, you only have 1 lane, so 3 lanes, these lanes, 3 lanes go straight. And there's a Walmart there, there's like a shopping center, but this lane to go south, this lane to go north, that's it. And behind me is downtown, so especially during rush hour, there's like a lineup is crazy. And so of course some people here, they don't have the patience to look at this guy. I'm pretty sure he's trying to jump in because they jump in at the last moment. Oh, like that white car over there, right at the intersection. Like, I don't care, I have to keep the distance. So if somebody tries to jump in, like a red Jeep behind me jumped in front of somebody else. Yeah, super dangerous here. And the speed is 80 kilometers an hour. And then you slam on your brakes because there's a light. And the big lineup. Yeah, that's downtown. So now we're just going north. after that cute Freightliner. So yeah, tomorrow is gonna be interesting at work, right? A recovery. I love recoveries. The last one I did, they sent me to pick up a broken, it was a skid steer.
In about 14 kilometers, take exit 271 to merge onto Highway 201.
Turns out, somehow they managed to break the glass on the door, and the door was removed. You know, and turns out that particular, I think it's called ASV. I don't know who makes them, like a tiny baby skid steer, but it has sensors everywhere. And our mechanic told me, I said, why it wouldn't start? He said, because the door has a sensor. Basically, for safety reasons, the machine would not allow you to
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
to start the engine if the door is open, right? Just for safety. And so when they broke the glass and removed the door, they removed one of the sensors, and so the machine thinks that the door is open. And so you can try all those codes, you know, it has no key, you just enter the code. So you can try all those codes, the correct ones, all day long, it would not start. And so I had to hook up a winch, and you know, it's a small one, it's not a big skid steer. So somehow I didn't break the cable. Like one of our other drivers who drives another Freightliner, he already broke the cable once. He was trying to, also he was doing a recovery, and I think he was trying to load a bigger skid steer, which is much heavier, and so his cable wasn't strong enough. And then they ordered for him a new cable, so at least his cable now is brand new as mine. I told the boss, I said, I think I need a new cable because this one has some flat spots. But so far I'm still waiting for the new cable for my winch. Oh, and my remote went kaput today for some reason. Sometimes it's just the batteries are loose, so I just knock it like this on the steering wheel. Tried it, no, right in the middle I was moving my bed and it just died. And I think we already replaced the batteries in that thing twice in 1 year. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I'll need to fix it, because if I'm doing recovery, I might need to use my winch, and it's super awkward to use the winch without the remote. But actually I'll be using the skid steer with the forks. That would be interesting, because that machine, I think it weighs like that walk behind mini loader. I think it weighs at least 2,000 pounds. Because I remember I tried to move it once. They sent me for delivery, no, pickup. They sent me to pick up this machine, and I said, what am I using, a Freightliner or a pickup truck? Because the pickup truck, the tailgate can lift 1,500 pounds, and they said, no, it's too heavy, grab the Freightliner. So I know it looks small, but it's heavy because it has tracks, and tracked machines are usually heavier than wheeled machines, right? So anyway, time now is 5:36. See, it's getting busy. Yeah, this area in particular. So this is McKnight Boulevard. So between here and Beddington Trail is always like this. That's why they were. I feel like that that lane is almost ready, but for some reason they left like a little dimple there. But that one is still blocked by these pylons. It would help to have another lane here, for sure. But again, one of the major problems is that the same lane is used for people that come on and leave, and so they fight each other, you know. Well, this one is just the exit, but on the other side of the bridge, yeah, I'll show you what I mean. Now, what am I gonna do for dinner? I ate all the Ukrainian pierogies yesterday. So one pierogi is 50 calories. I have to watch it. So I had I think 14 pierogies with potatoes, but they're so good, man. But today I think I still have a bag of dumplings, Chinese dumplings, and of course the difference is that pierogies usually don't have meat. They have potatoes and sometimes cheese. But I buy the ones that don't have cheese. But dumplings, like these ones I have, they have pork and veggies, and they're pretty good. They're very cheap. A bag with about 20 dumplings is like $3. It's kind of like a poor man's food, you know. Yeah, John from UK sent me a message today. He said that he went shooting because it's Friday. He went to the farm where we were last time, and they're always shooting clays. And he found me a machine on Amazon. He says this might work for you if you want to shoot clays. It's the one you kind of trigger with your foot, you know. I think it's just spring loaded, because these the bigger ones they use over there, the expensive ones with multiple stacks of clays, they use a car battery for power. So I don't want to mess with that one. But he looked on Amazon over there and he said he found a couple of way cheaper options just for one shooter with only one stack of clays. And so he said he went shooting, and then he met his friends at a pub. They had some beer, and then they were going home because his wife Val is having a birthday today. So I said, please say hello to Val, and you know, many happy returns of the day. But they're already asleep because now it's 5:40, and that's what made my trip to England a bit difficult. So let's say 6, and they're 7 hours ahead. So right now over there it's 1 o'clock in the morning, or to be more accurate, 20 minutes to 1. And so it's a big difference, you know. It's hard to get used to it in 1 week. Yeah, I'd love to stay there longer, but unfortunately I only had 2 weeks total. So the first week I spent doing Uber, and then second week just 9 days, right? So I left on 5th and I flew back on what, 14th? Yeah, so basically 9 days. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the downtown and the traffic. Not sure why I might following this old rusted E350 Super Duty Ford. It's probably 25 years old. And I have to get back. Well, traffic gets better. You know what? Maybe we'll take an exit here. I'll show you guys a Caterpillar dealer, where actually I was there with my truck, loading a couple of times. Oh, this guy from Ontario who hired me to move, he bought some scrapers from here. because it's impossible to get out. So we'll just, there's a shortcut, because this part here, it's a nightmare between 64 Avenue and the next one is Beddington Trail. Well, oh, that's why. Man, 3 cars. Yeah, I'll go there. Yes, now it's moving, of course. Son of a gun. But we'll do like a little shortcut, you know, in the woods. Sometimes I do this. So I go what, east on 64 Avenue, and there's a whole bunch of stores, restaurants. There's a Walmart over here, Canadian Tire. There's a Bass Pro Shop where you can
pass this light. Then at the next one, turn left.
We can buy guns and ammo, but their prices are much higher than not much higher, but higher than on the web. So I always buy ammo and weapons online, usually in Ontario. For some reason over there it's cheaper than in Alberta. And so yeah, we're gonna, oh, over there's a sign. It's probably too far. It's called Finning Cat. Finning Cat. They have some cool machines parked there on the lawn outside. You'll see it in a second. And to the right, this is Original Joe's restaurant and bar. I see some people dining and whining inside there. Huge glass windows. All right. So by the way, I was thinking about this, trying to remember, and yeah, in Canada, very rarely you see dual lights.
At the light, use the left 2 lanes to turn onto 11th Street Northeast.
And by dual lights, I mean 2 different colors at the same time, like I saw in England. So in England, you drive on green, of course, and then you stop when there's red.
Turn left.
And then right before red turns green, it'll show you 2 lights, red and amber, or red and yellow. And I remember seeing that for the first time. You see, like yellow, that's it. So basically here, amber or yellow is your warning that the green light is about to turn to red, so you have to stop if you're too far from the intersection, right? But if it's just amber and you're already inside, you can finish your maneuver, right? So we never have red and yellow. Like, what's the point of warning people about the green? Like, I want to get a warning about the red, which is much more important, right? And so here there's red, and then we have to watch the other lights for the yellow. And quite often it's hard to see because they have these protective screens. But the only time, you know, how do I know when red is gonna change for green is I look at those lights, and when I see yellow over there, that means that right now red will change to green. So slightly different. And I'll, like some intersections like here, you see they use dual lights, 2 red vertical and then 2 red horizontal, and then 1 more red on the pole. I'm guessing maybe they had too many accidents over here, I don't know. But they started doing this a few years ago. They started doubling the lights. And straight ahead, on the other side of that hill, that's the airport. Okay, see? Arrow. 2 lanes. And now there's
1.5 kilometers, keep right to merge onto Deerfoot Trail Northeast.
Now there's a police station over here. So you have to, yeah, I see Finning Cat. So speed limit is 50 kilometers an hour. And they always have cool machines parked over here. So now we have Cat rock truck, couple of wheel loaders, used like looks like used ones, $9.50, and then one more wheel loader, 2 rock trucks. See, I used to sleep here. Like they used to have a gate over there, they removed it, and there was a space for 1 truck. And I remember I came here late at night, and there was a security in there. I went inside and I asked him, is it okay if I sleep here? And then Walmart is like 5 minutes away, and back then I did not know Calgary that well, but you know, I looked on the Google Maps like restaurants and Walmart, and I was surprised to see, hey, it's right there. And so I went to Walmart, grabbed some food, and then in the morning I woke up real early, prepared my load, you know, took some chains off to make it faster. Okay, stop. And this is a little shortcut. So basically, yeah, when that particular part of the Deerfoot gets super busy,
use the right lane to keep right to merge onto Deerfoot Trail Northeast.
yeah, you can go this way, and then it jumps right back on the highway. And over here, it's already 110 kilometers an hour speed limit.
Right.
So usually there's no lineups over here. So that's Beddington Trail, and this is Deerfoot North. See, beautiful. It's like a new. I don't think they made it a long time ago, because it's all the pavement looks great. You see, and you jump over here, and it's 110. So
5.2 kilometers. Take exit 271 to merge onto Highway 201.
So 68 miles per hour. That's 110 kilometers an hour. But I'm not gonna go like this, because I want to stop, get some food. So we're just gonna take this airport trail, which is a nice quick way to my home, because it's the speed limit is 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles an hour. And this is what you take, let's say when I have some passengers from downtown or whatever, from some hotel.
Use the left lane to keep left, then continue straight.
Yeah, it wants me to go back to
use the right lane to merge onto Deerfoot Trail Northeast.
request denied. Yeah, it wants me to go back there on the ramp and go north on Deerfoot. There's a bunch of hotels here, because the airport is right there. There's a casino. And what I was saying is that, yeah, that's what I take. I take this airport trail when I have passengers going to the airport.